Hello and welcome. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and we are playing Hearts of Wulin, and this is the Wedding of Ice and Fire. I am the designer of Hearts of Wulin, and I am the co-writer for it. Joyce Chang co-wrote the book with me and did an amazing job for all of the cultural material there. I always want to call that out. And if you're in the market for a cultural consultant, Elin Wang did the work on this and was incredibly helpful to the development of this game. I just want to point that out. So this session is part of Shared Hearth Gaming Weekend, which is ongoing. It's part of the Open Hearth Gaming Community. It's the first time we've done it this year, but usually we've done two, sometimes three, if we're really ambitious, events like this in a year. And we're hoping for two next year. And we've also got some other events planned on the calendar, including a big Star Wars weekend that we'll be doing. So I am going to be going through the cats for this, which is the concept, aim, all of that, setting things up. So you're going to hear me talking for longer than you want to here right at the start. So I'm going to apologize ahead of time. So this is Hearts of Wulin, which is a game of wuxia melodrama. It really aims to emulate wuxia fiction from China, in particular, the novels and stories of Jin Yang and Gu Long. And then actually more in particular, the way that those stories were adapted into long form Chinese TV dramas, and it spawned an industry of those dramas that has gone on. And in recent years, things like The Untamed, which has been shown on Netflix, and Handsome Siblings, and there's a bunch of them on Amazon. And then there's, of course, the greatest one is available on YouTube, Ancient Detective, which is just the best. These are things that I found years ago on Netflix on disc when they still did those, and I started watching them, and I kind of fell in love with them at that point because they're long form stories about powerful characters, lots of NPCs, lots of interactions and factions. And well, as powerful as they are, their heart and their passions get in the way of everything. Our characters talk obliquely about their feelings, about what they want, about their desires. If you've seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, that's really the archetypal film of people not being able to express themselves. In the course of this game, we do our entanglements as a set of relationships that kind of explain that. So in terms of the structure of our concept, our characters know each other at the start. They are all wuxia. They have generally positive feelings towards one another, though that may be modified by their entanglements. You are all heading to a wedding. It's a wedding between Righteous Jade, and you can see his picture in the NPC tab, and Dawning Joy. Righteous Jade is from the White Thunder Manor, and Dawning Joy is from the Limitless Sword Society. Here's what we know. We know that this is an important wedding of two major factions, but we're going to figure out, like, why is that? What's going on? What are the complications? Some of you may be in love with the bride or the groom or someone else there. I've got a page of NPCs with names that when we come to the entanglements, you can go and pick them and figure them out, and we'll decide who they are as we go along. But kind of the bride and groom are set, and then everything else we will kind of fill in as we go. We'll discover all of these things as we go through the entanglement phase. So in terms of what we're going to be doing for play, we're going to be building characters, and that'll take a little bit of time. We'll do introductions, and then we'll do the entanglements. Everybody's going to have a romantic and a general entanglement. Entanglements are a triad. They're a relationship you have with one person that is complicated by a relationship with another person. You generally have a romantic and a general entanglement. However, if you're picturing your character as more ace, you can certainly frame your romantic entanglement as strong friendship or passion or that kinds of things. So feel free to handle that the way that you want to. We want to give everybody room to do that. In the character creation, you're going to be coming up with the name of your style, what kind of weapon you use. You might give a name for the faction or group that you come from. You're going to be picking a playbook. And from that playbook, you'll be picking one of 3 roles, which will give you a move. And then from within that playbook, you'll take one move. And then if you want to take a second move, you can take that, or you can hold off and take it as we go along. So this is a Powered by the Apocalypse game. Chi, you've played PbtA? Okay, I can't hear you. Sure, absolutely. I'll do the technical check too. Still can't hear you.
Oh, wait.
There we
Can you
go.
hear me?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, great. So
I have like PtBA.
excellent. I just always like to check it because occasionally I've started on this ramble and the people have been like, "Hey, what is this game?" So I just want to make sure ahead of time. So you're going to build those characters. We'll take our break, and then we're gonna start out with an inciting incident, and we're going to roll into the wedding. In terms of tone, our tone is melodramatic. In these stories, reactions, passions, these are heightened. And your characters are trying to maintain their facade in the face of these trials. We're playing things relatively straight. There's room for comedy and humor, but that should complement things. Characters may be laughing in one scene and cradling their dying lover in another scene. It can change on a dime. Sometimes you'll find love, but sometimes you'll find heartbreak. In particular, what I want to say with the tone is we want to treat this material that we're drawing from these Chinese novels and sources and things with respect. You may notice that I am super white, but we're going to try and deal with them respectfully. So we're going to try to avoid stereotypes. With that, this kind of, as I'm bleeding into safety a little bit here, we can do voices, but we don't do accents. I know all of you are familiar with that, but I just want to put that out there. So that's sort of the general feel of things. There are some genre conventions that we may see. For example, if a person has a hat on, that's a complete disguise. That always happens in these shows. If they have a little fake mustache on, no one can recognize them. It's one of my favorite bits in all of these movies and shows. Now, with that, I want to roll into safety. I know all of you are familiar with online play, but I just want to go through. We use a layered set of safety tools. Those are represented on the lines and veils tab. We have 3 sort of levels for that. We have lines and veils, and even ask first. So lines are anything that this is not stuff we're going to deal with. This is not going to be focused on. It's not something that we're going to see in play. Just a subject matter we don't want. Veils are anything that if it appears on screen, if it happens, it will either fade to black or we're talking about it at a distance, like it's happening off screen from where we're happening. And then ask first is, we're okay with this topic or this material, but we definitely want to check in before it happens. And that's from the player side or from the GM side. This is kind of a living thing. As we're doing the character creation process, I ask that you take a look at those lines and veils. Make sure you know where they're at. But I just want to have you take a moment to go through as I'm talking, make some choices. You can add in anything that isn't on the list. If there's some other materials there that you want to have, you can add that to that list. Once you've done that, you're happy with the lines, veils, and ask first picks, you can go ahead and type OK in the chat, and that'll help me. The second level of safety tools that we're using is the X card. And X card we're doing verbally, either saying X card or doing the gesture to mark out X card. X card is used when we hit material that you find problematic, that you find objectionable, that you find wildly off tone. It can also be about play behavior. If somebody's play behavior is maybe stepping on into your space or onto your toes or pressuring you, you can X card to kind of pause us. For material that's about subject matter and things like that, you don't have to defend your choice. This is with everything. You can explain to us why you've made that choice if you want to, but you don't have to. You never have to defend that. The only thing we might ask is like, how far back do we need to cut? How far back do we need to roll there? And the X card is also used if we need to stop to calibrate, like if play has gotten heated in a particular way, or if maybe we've started to lean towards something that's a line and maybe we haven't caught it, and you notice that we're starting to head that way, maybe X card and say, hey, I think we're starting to go towards this. Let's recalibrate there. It's another useful thing for the X card to do for it. Last thing I'll say about the X card is if something happens and the first couple of times you're like, I'm okay with it, but then later on you're not, something changes or it starts to bother you, it is absolutely legitimate to X card later, even though it has happened before, to do that. Your opportunity never passes on that. So that's in there as a set of tools. The X card helps us if there are things that we missed in the lines and veils. The last bit of safety tool is we have an open door policy, which means if you need to step away for whatever reason, physical, emotional, whatever, feel free to leave. If you know you're going to be back and you want to tell us you're going to be back, you're welcome to do that, but you're not obliged to. We understand that things happen in game, and honestly, if you're not enjoying a game, you shouldn't remain in it. So if this were a longer campaign series, I would say, hey, even between sessions, if you didn't feel like you wanted to continue on, but I want to make sure that that is out there for everyone. The last little bit of safety that we have is on that lines and veils tab. We do have a romance matrix saying, are you okay with romantic interactions with NPCs, with PCs, or do you want me to ask first? So I see that everybody has marked that in. So that is there. There is below that romance matrix a link to the roller. That's an online roller you can use, or you can use physical dice at home. There's also a Pinterest link. If you're like, I need a character picture, I have a vast collection of Pinterest pictures. I have gone down that rabbit hole too many times, and my wasted effort is your reward right there. So that's the big stuff in terms of setup, getting everything ready. So we are going to talk about playbooks. We have 6 playbooks available for this, and they're on the playbooks tab. I want to talk about what they are briefly first, and then go around and see what people are interested in, and I'll kind of point us to the character creation. So our 6 archetypes that we have here: the aware. The aware is our scholar, our senior, our Sifu, who knows things and uses the power of knowledge to solve problems. Our bravo is our sort of wild character. They're maybe the spoiled character, or they're the happy-go-lucky character, or they're the character that is picking people's pockets. That is the next archetype. The third one is the loyal, the classic character who has a role, has dedication, maybe focused on the sword. That is what they do. The next one is the outsider. Now, our world is the world of the Wulin, which is a world that's kind of separate and outside from the world of the imperial court or from the lives of everyday people. But the outsider even kind of stands a little bit outside of that. They are rebels or wanderers that maybe separated themselves from that world of these various Wulin clans and factions and groups. The student is our generally youthful character, our maybe more earnest character, our character that is dedicated to finding things out and solving problems. And then lastly, we have the unorthodox. This is sort of the weird catch-all at the end, which has 3 flavors of weird. One of them is the accidental. This is more for more comedic stuff, where your character actually doesn't know martial arts, but it just so happens that things occur. The hidden is a character who disguises their knowledge of martial arts. If you've seen the film Dragon, that's a classic one that has a character that is hiding who they are because of their past. Or maybe they're even just hiding the style that they know. People see that they're martial artists, but maybe there's a different style that they in fact know. There's many reasons why someone might hide. And then the prodigy is someone who has taken up these martial powers, martial talents, but perhaps doesn't have the greatest control over them yet. So I like to spell out those three roles. So those are our character playbooks. It is possible for two people to take the same playbook, provided you take different roles and kind of talk about what playbook moves you want to take. But generally, it's better for everybody to take a different one. So in order of people joining the call, let me begin. Olaf, what are you thinking playbook wise? Do you have a sense of the one or two or the small pool that you'd like to draw from?
If I'd had to whittle it down, I'd most likely go with a loyal.
Okay. Excellent.
And, inside the loyal, maybe the devoted child, the prodigy of a sword fighting, sword teaching family.
Okay. So you've said a very definitive thing. So I'm going to say, let's have you do the loyal. That gets us a definite thing.
Or does anyone want to intervene?
Okay. So we're going to have you do that. Alex, what about you? Now it's only 5 choices.
I'm definitely leaning towards the aware or the outsider.
Aware or outsider.
I have pretty strong concepts for either, so I don't mind,
All right. I will come back to you. Mads. You are muted.
I was thinking either the outsider wanderer or the unorthodox hidden.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And Chi? You're muted.
So at the moment, I'm leaning towards the student.
Student. No one has called student, so I may come back to you and make you confirm on that in a moment.
I guess I can pick aware then, so that frees up Mads for whichever she wants to do.
Mads, what do you think?
Okay. Yeah, let me do outsider.
Okay.
Wanderer, yeah.
Okay. So if you look on the character creation tab, kind of come up with either a picture or come up with a description of your look. You're going to decide on the name of your style, which of the 5 elements it's associated with, and kind of what weapon it uses. You're going to set your stats with the elements there as a +2, +1, +1, 0, and -1. And then you're going to pick your playbook role move. You're going to get that, and you can pick one or both of your playbook moves at that point. And once we get through that, then we'll do introductions. So I'm going to let you all go on that, and I'm going to sit here awkwardly while you do that. I'm also going to pause the recording. So with that, how long ago do you think that, or let me ask you this, the acupuncture style that was that something that was taught by Jade Brush, or was it something you learned before then, or did you learn from a mentor?
Yeah, I think it's part of the Jade Brush school, or whatever mentor he had, taught him, and he maybe will take on a student in the future and teach them. So it's I don't think it's something he created. I think it's passed down to different physicians.
Oh, interesting. All right, I think that does give us a good, solid sense of who you are. We will, after we get everyone introduced, we'll move to those entanglements. And I see you've already kind of started to think about those. So those are on the entanglements page. We will move on to our next character. Olaf, please introduce yourself and your pronouns and your character.
My name's Olaf, he, him, and my character tonight is Lin Chiu. He is he, him as well. He is the prodigy child of a sword fighting school named the Dancing Leaves School. He is quite young with a crooked smile and some unruly hair, which he cannot control. As I said, he is the devoted child, which means he has the devoted child move and may be able to call on these family ties. He has the moves of the flying daggers and the strive for mastery. I don't know if he will ever find someone who accepts my authority, but we will come to that.
It does suggest that Dancing Leaf School is probably a school that is fairly respected, that people would know it, that it would have a kind of an aura, or be perceived in a positive light. Does that make sense?
Oh, I do hope so.
Okay, all right. Are within the school? Is there a hereditary thing? Are you the devoted child to the master of the school? Then you think?
The master of the school is probably my uncle.
Okay.
I don't know anything about my father, but my uncle raised me, and therefore I'm in the line to take over the school and the teaching at some time.
And how old are you?
Many years. I'm quite young. I'm about 25 years old, and I still have much to learn, and will probably live a bit longer before taking over school.
Does the prospect of taking over excite you, make you nervous, or some other reaction?
It frightens me.
Okay, frightens. Good. Okay. Tell us about this style. I see it's a sword style.
Yes, it's a sword style. It's called the Falling Leaves, derived from the Dancing Leaf School. The falling leaves, the leaves falling in the forest, and we with our swords and our flowing gowns dancing like falling leaves, and a bit like acupuncture, poke holes into the others.
So your gowns, that use of fabric is all part of the fighting style as well?
It's part of the fighting style, and it's part of our way of moving around. Yeah, sure.
It's interesting to me that you've defined that as an earth style, but earth isn't your strongest suit. Your strongest suit is fire.
Yeah, there's a reason I'm frightened of overtaking the school.
Okay. No, I like that very much. All right. I think that gives us a pretty strong sense of who you are. We will come back around to talk about entanglements after the introductions are all done. Next, Mads, would you tell us about yourself, pronouns, and your character and pronouns?
Sure. I'm Mads, she, they pronouns, and my character is Winter Storm, also she, they pronouns, as the outsider. She has long flowing locks and unflinching gaze, and I put down strong and graceful as well. Not really sure of her story, to be honest. I mean, like, she's outside of the outside. There's like a mystery going on there. Like, she happens to go through different towns, and helps people when she can. And no one is really sure of like where she belongs, because they want to put her in a box. They want to put her in a category or a faction or a group, but she, at this point, defies category.
Absolutely. And one of the things with the Wanderer is we kind of loosely define what it means to arrive in a new place. If we're in an urban area, it means different neighborhoods. If we're traveling, then it means different cities, that kind of thing. So we're very flexible about how that works. And tell us about your style.
Sure. The element for it is water. The style I called the roiling, dashing current. because with her spear, she is able to imitate the roiling currents, like as it creates like tidal pools or like undertows and everything like that, and then draws people in and then smashes them to a hearty finish. And then she can do the same thing with her fan, but in more of a melee situation. So spear is for crowd fighting / a little bit of distance and travel, and then fan is for melee and close quarters. But that is her style.
Now, do you imagine that Winter Storm learned this from like a mentor? Did they learn from a faction? Did they teach it, like learn it themselves, create it? How are you imagining where this came from, or was it some mix of those things?
It's a mix of things. I mean, like, in her wanderings, she had to make her way and start to do certain things for certain places. I mean, like, to earn her keep, basically. And then she always managed to fall in with, like, say, the martial arts schools or a martial arts mentor in the city or the village that she ended up in, and they kind of taught her what they could to that she could integrate into her particular style, into her particular way of fighting, and pattern dancing, and it's just turned into this, which again, she's always had this image of being near the water, like from her childhood, which she doesn't really remember a whole bunch
Okay.
about. But yeah, there's like this image of a furious tidal pool or undertow, and like kind of splashing about, trying to get air as she's like being drawn under, and then finding herself back on land. But then that image has never left her of that strong current.
Excellent. So no one else knows this roiling, dashing current style. This is uniquely your own. How old? 20s, 30s, older?
Probably like, the picture indicates like, younger, but I mean, like, she's probably like in her late 20s.
Okay. Awesome. I think that gives us a definite sense of who you are, and we will come back to you with entanglements here in a moment. Let's last but not least, Chi, tell us about yourself, your pronouns, and then your character and their pronouns.
Okay. Am I working this time?
Yes.
Good. So my character is Yu Zhao. Is that how you pronounce it?
I think you shall, I think would
Yu
be.
Zhao.
I may be butchering that as well.
Okay. So the student, and he's specifically an apprentice, and his pronouns are he, him of the Willow Ranch Authority. So his concept is that he started as a villager in a small and distant village. They grew up being trained to become the village builder, but then then he left to join the current order he's a part of, which I envision to be a wood-centered order with master-apprentice relationships. And he's currently undertaking a journey as part of his training to graduate from apprentice into mastering his martial art. So I imagine the style that I'm envisioning for him is called Can't Be Under Heaven, a wood style, which while my martial art knowledge is a little rusty, I envision that his style would look like one that's about timing and it about evasion
Mhm.
as opposed to striking first, letting the enemy fall into themselves, basically taking slow but purposeful movements to it, to lure the enemy off guard, and then it looks in the outside, it looks almost like an accident, but it is about purposely tuning into wearing the enemy down toward victory. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Controlling the momentum, choosing your soft movements to allow them to move, and then reacting in the most precise way. Absolutely. And I love that that name for that.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
what did you
the
take? Oh, go on.
and the main weapon involves staff.
What did you? Oh, what did you take for your moves?
So the main one is hopeful apprentice, and then the two other moves is the proud youth, which involves seeking guidance of elder, whether present or past, and then smiling proud wanderer, get to ask one question from study without rolling.
Excellent.
Proceeding.
Good ones. Yeah. And proud youth, anytime you want to say, oh, I think I'm going to think back on the words of one of my elders and give them a name, and then we can roll back to that. Do you think, did you leave the village? Like, were you a dreamer and wanted to go out and do this, or had you seen someone from the order, or were you dissatisfied with your life? What made you leave?
So I imagine that I, as you, who met my master from the order,
Mm.
while he was out wandering the world as part of his path towards undertaking apprentice, and I became actually not necessarily have to be he,
Okay.
since we can either this master is entanglement or not. So my master, I met them and was entranced by the style. And although I really loved the people in my village, especially my family, it 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 made me think that perhaps there's something more to this life, more to this world, in that this is my path toward seeing more of the world and seeing what's out there, and learning about what the world is like. So I embraced it. So I went with my master to join the Order of the Willow Branch and become a practitioner and one day master, although part of me wonders, is doubtful about this life.
Excellent. I think that gives us a strong sense of who your character is. We now have everyone introduced. We're now going to go around and have people figure out their entanglements. And as I said before, the entanglements are a triad. You're going to have two, one romantic, one general. In at least one of the slots, so there are 4 slots, I want you to include a PC. You can have a PC in both of them, but in at least one, we'll do that. And when you do that, we'll check in with the PC if they're interested in that. We'll try and figure out who we want to have there. And we've got a page of NPCs, so we'll have you pick from those to fill out those other slots there. So we'll have you do everybody do one of those, and then we'll come back and have everybody do the other one of those. So number 1, scholar, it sounded to me like you had a strong sense to start. So What is it that you want to start with? You want to start with your romantic?
Yeah, I want to start with my romantic entanglement. So
Okay.
when their lover, Righteous Jade, asked me to save Dawning Joy's life, I never thought that I would fall in love with them.
So the groom, there was an incident.
Mhm.
The groom came to you.
And it's like no one can save her. There's this mysterious poison. Please, I love her. So he came from the Jade Brush School is from elsewhere. It's like somewhere else in the region. So he came here, and again, it took several months to nurse her back to health. It probably delayed the wedding originally,
Mhm.
which maybe was why she was poisoned because they were trying to stop the wedding. But again, in the process of saving Dawning Joy's life, number one scholar just became so enamored of her and her beauty and kindness and everything. But of course, he would never say that because he has to keep professionalism and keep it to himself.
Absolutely, absolutely. That seems perfect. That gives us a good one. Connects up with the two key characters. Awesome. We'll come back and talk about your general here in a moment. Uh, uh, Lin Chu, what would you like for your
Well,
first?
I'm always a fan of mutual unrequited love,
Mhm.
but I don't know whom to pick. Um, let's look at the NPCs.
They're all lovely.
Oh, yes, they are. Oh, Magistrate's son.
Okay.
That's adorable. Or Magistrate Sun would be better, I think.
Mhm.
So the entanglement is there's mutual unrequited love between Magistrate Sun and I because of my duty to who's the groom?
The groom is Righteous Jade.
Righteous Jade. This sounds quite fun.
Okay. So you're tied to Righteous Jade. You know the groom. You have a duty to him and have helped him out, and that has kept you. So the idea that maybe that Righteous Jade kind of keeps you on a shorter leash uh, doesn't perhaps provide you time to deal with your own affairs, or you think it's something else?
Um, I think Righteous Jade may have trained in our school as well,
Mm-hmm.
for some time at least, and as a gift for his wedding, my uncle is sending me in order to serve him for some time, and this means that I will not be able to pursue my unrequited love to Magistrate Sun.
All right. Do you think Righteous Jade is a demanding master or more relaxed?
Oh no, he's not relaxed. Have you
Okay.
looked at him?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Excellent. I think that gives we'll come back for your general here in a moment. Winter Storm.
So I think, let me see what I picked. I think I have to pick an NPC for this one because I think I
Sure.
love one of those NPCs, but their sibling, um, Dawning Joy, thinks me beneath them.
Ooh.
So let's see. Who? Jade. Okay. All right. So could be fun to have. Let's see. Could be fun to have the the son of Stone and Wrath
Son of-
be Dawning Joy's brother.
Okay.
Yep.
I like that. Now, is this a question of Dawning Joy knows that you love Son of Stone and Wrath, and Son doesn't know or does know?
That's the question. Think she suspects. Because every time I've like rolled into town or what have you, it's like, I've always kind of gravitated towards him. I think
But
he
but
would.
yeah, but Son of Stone and Wrath isn't completely aware of your affection or does know of your affection.
I mean, again, it's like it's kind of like she suspects because of the way that I possibly look at him when we're fighting, because I mean he's a great training partner when I'm in town. And like I've always used him as very reliable
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like honing my skills. It's like I know that if I can take him down after like one or two fights, then it's like I'm keeping my skills up to standard. um but yeah, I think she's caught some of the looks that I've given to Son of Stone and Wrath, and she's probably not happy.
Okay.
But yeah.
Awesome. We will come back to you for your general here in a moment. You shall. Which one do you want to do, general or romantic?
The possibilities are swirling in my head, but I want to do romantic because
Sure.
at least I want to pin down my teacher, Wanderer Bow. So I love blank, but my teacher, Wanderer Bow, kills someone dear to them. So now I would have to decide on who I love. So unless a player wants to volunteer,
I mean, like nobody really knows about where I came from, but it would be interesting to find out that something of my family. So if you want to do that, that's fine.
if you want this complicated relationship between our characters, let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
You
I
know
love-
something I don't.
Yeah.
I
So
love Winter Storm, but my teacher, Wonderbow, kills someone dear to them.
excellent. We'll find out in play what that is, who that is, and we'll get that set. That's great. Let's come back around to number one scholar. We've done your romantic. We're now going to do your general. And
Can I
yes.
bounce off at that and say that I suspect that my friend Yu's master is the villain Wanderer Bow?
Ooh.
That I think Wanderer Bow might have been the one who poisoned Dawning Joy. Like,
Sorry.
I don't have any proof of that, but
Okay.
he's just suspiciously was around. And now you're suspiciously around,
Are you good with that, you shall?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Villain.
Yeah, I'm worried for you, really.
Okay.
Bad
It should
influence.
be.
Let's see. I'm going to get that written in here on his name.
For the entanglements, does it have to be separate NPCs, separate PCs?
What do you mean?
Like for instance, it's like I feel like my outsider general would feed right back into this whole mystery with Wanderer Bow and Yin.
Yeah, you can double up on that if you want, or take a different one. It's up to you what you feel more comfortable with.
Right. Well, I mean, also for a one shot, I'm kind of like less complications because
Yeah.
I've seen these entanglement maps. They're crazy.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm going to mistype this. Possibly a villain. Okay. So I put that under You shall wander a bow, he, him. Are you good with that with the pronouns, or they, them? What would you like?
Let's go with he, him with Wonderbow.
Okay. All right. Let's come to Lin Chu. What do you want for your general?
My general entanglement, it seems to all circle around the family of righteous Jade and Dawning Joy. I have the impression that the role of the bodyguard for Dawning Joy during the ceremony was promised to Yu Chao, but I got the role after Righteous Jay intervened, and we don't know why, but that's the case.
Are you good with that, Yu Chao, that you were to originally have come to be a bodyguard here at the wedding, but at the last minute that was changed?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Have some more drama.
Righteous Jade.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. Perfect. And then Winter Storm, you said you were thinking about rolling what we've got in.
Yeah, I mean, so my general is that I suspect Wanderabo knows much about my family's destruction, but accusing them will offend Yu Xiao.
Perfect.
Then finally, I'm going to be the odd one out. Can I say that I suspect Manstra's son of evil?
Yeah.
And then either we can do the obvious choice of Lin Zhu being the one who respect, unless someone wants to get in with this one last entanglement.
I could see number one scholar too, you know, like if they had coordinated over legal issues.
On
But
the
it's
other
up
hand,
to
we
you.
already have
Okay.
Magistrate Stun connected to Lin Zhu there. There is a certain amount of going for the obvious.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you be okay with that, everybody?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So
Yeah.
lots of mutual suspicions. We'll get all of these NPCs on the scene. One of the things we'll
Just to
also
make sure,
yeah.
are we going with number one scholar or who
Let's
respects?
Are you okay with Lin Shu as the person that you don't want to offend?
Yes.
Okay. We'll also figure out, we'll throw in some of these NPCs as they pop up, figure out who they are, how they're related. We'll add them in as we need to. So the other thing you're going to do now is you are going to choose a person from each of your entanglements and write their name under bonds. So you have entanglement 1, entanglement 2, and you'll have a value of 1 bond with them. Bonds are spent after you roll to bump up a result by 1. If you have a bond with a particular PC, you can spend that bond with them to help them out. But you can always spend any of your bonds to help yourself out. And we'll get into the other things here in play, but we're going to take our first break here. We're going to take 10. We're going to come back and we are going to start getting to the wedding. So take 10 and we'll be back. Winter Storm, I'm going to ironically ask you this question. What season is it? Are we in spring? Are we in summer? Are we in autumn? Are we in winter? What do you think?
Let's do autumn.
Okay, so the falling leaves, ironically, for the Falling Leaves Society, we have the autumn air there. And for Lynn, you are have been assigned to serve under Righteous Jade. What task did he have you doing that you have crossed paths with Winter Storm and are kind of heading back towards the site of the wedding? Like what job did he put you to?
I think he wants me to stay right by the side of Dawning Joy every second of her day, and therefore I will have to ride out with her into the woods as I usually do, and maybe in those woods we could encounter someone.
Okay. So Winter Storm, what is your connection here? Are you coming as to be hired to serve at the wedding, or are you coming just for your own interest? What do you think that is?
Think now is the wedding being held in town or farther away?
Close by. In fact, it is being held in the middle of a river. There's a town set up that has been arranged as a wedding, and there are ladders and things that go out to this beautifully ornate and built boat party barge that is out there in the center of the river for celebrations and so on.
I think like, out in these woods, I think the son of Stone and Wrath, like, likes standing on ceremony as much as I do, which is not. So I think we have like morning trainings that we do, like practice sessions out in the woods, and it's like, we just meet to yeah, test our skills against each other. And maybe we talk, and maybe I watch his lips move, and it's great. And yeah.
So there's a little bit of tension then when you and Son of Wrath are there in the woods, and up, accompanied by a bodyguard, is Dawning Joy, who has perhaps not the fondest impression of you.
She's seen me before. Yes.
Right, absolutely. What would be your reaction?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to let anybody's stares and glares bother me, but I mean, because she is his sibling, I've never really sure about like how close they actually are, but on her special day, I mean, I'm sure she's looking like everything's gonna piss her off. So I think,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, yeah, when she comes, maybe she comes upon us like in the woods as we're finishing up and maybe laughing about something, and then my laughter dies because it's like I see the look on her face, resting, that face.
Absolutely. Yeah, the silence kind of cuts through. I don't think Son of Stone and Wrath quite notices.
No.
Lynn, do you think that's something you pick up on? This, or are you more focused on Dawning Joy? What do you think?
I think I will pick up on it because I'm scanning the surroundings. I'm looking everyone in the eyes and trying to gauge their involvement in anything that may have to do with Dawning Joy. And she standing there and letting her features falter is something I would definitely see.
Yeah, you see, so what do you do when you see that there's clearly this tension between Winter Storm and Dawning Joy?
I move my horse a few paces up in order to bring myself and my horse between Winter Storm and Dawning Joy, and I try very carefully to move her away from her and find a different route around this clearing.
Let's, just for the sake of game mechanics, let's do an overcome roll here to see how well you manage this shift of attention, shall we? So what do you think you want to roll that with?
I think I'd like to do this cautiously. I think I'd like to impose my presence on both the horses and on Winter Storm for her not to trespass any more than she already has. And I think it's Earth I'd like to roll with.
Let's go ahead and have you roll with Earth then.
That's 2d6 plus 1, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. So absolutely, I think that you are able to move Dawning Joy along. Winter Storm, you see that. You see that the bride is clearly moved up and away and out of line of sight for you. Are you relieved by that? Are you annoyed by that? Do you feel dismissed?
Oh no, I think that's fantastic because it's like, you know, as soon as the horse's body moved in front of my face, it's like, well, I guess I don't have to see her anymore.
Nice. Let me cut to you and number one scholar. Now you there had been the opportunity for you to be a bodyguard at this wedding, but words were said and that was kind of changed at the last minute. So let me ask you, why are you still going to the wedding?
So I am going because my master is going, and where my master goes, it's my duty to follow.
Absolutely. Wanderer Bao has gone ahead, has said that you will meet him there. He has some things to attend to at the wedding before you arrive, but then everything will be set. And number one scholar, how is it that you kind of fell in with you on the road?
I think I sought him out. I heard that he was coming and I was like, oh no, this isn't good. And I kind of view him in like a big brother kind of way. So I'm very obliquely trying to be, I'd like to give you some friendly advice, and you have to be careful about the sort of people that you listen to and who you associate with. And I know you're very young, but number one scholar keeps getting distracted because his eye turns to Dawning Joy riding by on her horse and her laughter and everything. So it's kind of caught between these two poles.
Absolutely. And you what do you make of the passage of Lynn and Dawning Joy?
First off, I'm oblivious to the tension between them. For all I know, that it was just, so they must know each other. And I turned to number one scholar and said, do you know them too?
Huh? Oh, yes, I do. I've for the last 6 months, I've been very acquainted with Dawning Joy and her family.
I see. And meanwhile, and I'm less familiar with the family, but I do know Winter Storm over there. And then my eyes go a little dreamy-eyed.
Absolutely. So I think we see the four of you there, that kind of all paths crossing. You are a little ways away from the city. And Lynn, you are kind of brought up short because up ahead on the road, you will see that a wagon has broken down, and there are some farmers who are desperately trying to get it out of the way, because otherwise you and your companion will have to ride through the mud off to the side. What do you do, Lynn? You're kind of at the front end of this.
Oh dear. I turn to Dance Dawning Joy and try to impart to her that we will have to make a small stop while I try to help the farmers with their task.
She'll nod, she'll turn and actually maybe start to ride her horse back towards where number one scholar is. Do you know that that's a physician who has assisted her over the last few months? And you can certainly hop down off of your horse and head over to aid the villagers. Winterstorm, what about you? You and are you on horseback as well, or did you and Son of Stone and Wrath kind of walk out here today? You're not that far from.
I think, well, I mean, she is a wanderer, and I think it's easier for her to walk, and she doesn't necessarily have the consistent funds to be able to feed a horse. So yeah, I think she's walked. Maybe even Son of Stone and Wrath has offered to, pull her up behind him, but she's already seen the look that his sister has given, and she's like, you know what? It's too much trouble right now. Like, it's her day. She's calling the shots, and I'm not going to do this. So thank you, but no, I will walk.
Absolutely. He will ride, if only not to like make a bad impression in front of his sister, but he does bring it up short as he sees the cart there. Number one scholar, here comes Dawning Joy riding towards where you're at as this thing, and she will say, "Greetings, doctor."
Yeah, and I should be looking to see if any of these farmers are injured or anything, but all he can see is just Dawning Joy, coming up to him. He's like, "Oh, yes. How are you feeling today, Dawning Joy? There's a chill in the air, and I'm just concerned."
Yes, she says there is a chill in the air, and she looks back at her brother and Winterstorm.
Oh, yes, I'm glad that they're here to protect us as always, but I'm more concerned about you. Like how's I know we've ridden from your estate, and we're going to be in cold river water, and I just want to make sure that you're all right.
I am well, though perhaps later this evening you can check on me.
Oh yes, I might examine you. I mean medically.
She will nod.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. What is the thing that you see as this conversation is going on that indicates to you that this is in fact a nefarious trap?
So I assume that I see these farmers, right?
Yeah, there's some farmers over by the cart. You see Lynn is walking over towards them. There's some reeds off to the side. There's the woods behind. There's some mud. What do you see?
So at first impression, these farmers remind me of the village that I'm from and the people who are there. But then I noticed something's off about their clothing. One of them in particular is wearing a robe that's too nice, to a point that is made of there's a purple garb underneath the top layer that is way too luxurious for someone of a farmer's stature.
Absolutely. That purple dye is expensive. So what do you do when you see that?
So so at first I put on put on a friendly face just to make sure that I don't tip them off.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm using my staff as a walking stick.
Okay.
So I have it on a moment's notice. So I approached this farmer, the supposed farmer with the purple garb.
Yeah.
Not, it said, "Good afternoon."
And this farmer with the purple garb will move up to engage and speak with you, kind of moving to kind of stop you from where you're going, as Lynn is going over to the cart. And I think he moves to engage you. Lynn, you are there. And what is the detail about this cart being broken down that is not right?
Obviously, the axle of the cart was tampered with. There are marks of a saw which has been taken to the axle, and it's not cracked.
Absolutely. What do? You get there, you see that you has come is talking with one of these farmers. There's another group of farmers here who are looking at you as you're got that there's some, it looks like they've got some coffins in the back of the cart, those big wooden ones. What do you do?
First duty is to the lady, and therefore I will try to excuse me from this situation by implying that I have tools inside my saddlebags on my horse, and try to go back there without raising too much suspicion.
I think that as you move back, you will hear that whistle from one of the farmers. And of course, we see those coffins explode, and we see figures come flying out of them. And we can see that there is sort of a mass of these villagers around you, Lynn, that are clearly going to try and stop you. But then there are a trio, the person in purple who's by you, and two others, these ones that have burst out of the coffins, and they all have these round steel sharpened hoops with chains between them, and they go leaping towards Dawning Joy. So let's start with figuring out what number one scholar and Winter Storm are going to do, and then we'll kind of go through and resolve the thing. So number one scholar.
Yeah, I mean, I just immediately jump in the way. He has some martial training, so he pulls out the acupuncture, but it's mostly focused on just defending her.
Okay. So your goal is to get her out of the way, get her protected.
Get her out of here.
Okay.
Not so much to beat them all, but
Yeah. We'll come back to resolving that. And Winter Storm, what are you going to do?
I mean, as soon as she sees that, I mean, of course, she's like, and then she's going to just, dash off her spear, and then kind of do the circling motion to get some crowd control in,
Okay.
Circle and bash.
Perfect. So let's go around and resolve this sort of first go around. You, this figure that you've come over to talk to, that there's that crashing sound, and you will see he draws out from inside of his coat these pair of sharpened rings, and he's going to engage you. Are you going to engage him, or do you want to do something else?
So is a study possible within the heat of a fight, or?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So in that case, I'm going to go ahead and use my move, Smiling Proud Wanderer.
Absolutely.
seeing what is the scale of this person attacking me right now?
So this person is on your scale, but I think you can see that the pair that jumped out, that they are clearly coordinated. They've kind of leapt over towards where number one scholar is, and you think that like they're skilled and working together. They're probably a higher scale than you or your friends. This person you can probably take. Those two are more dangerous. What do you want to do?
In that case, I'll yell out, get them away. I'll handle this one. And then I'll swing my staff at my immediate assailant's ankles.
Perfect. Get the staff out, move. Then this is a duel. He is on your scale. So you're going to roll this with your style element. What is your style element?
Wood.
Okay. Then go ahead and roll with wood.
So +2, I believe.
Yep.
And then 10.
10.
Nice.
So what does that look like? Like what happens here? How do you take him out? With your quick reflexes, he's gotten his blades out, but you're close by. What do we see happen?
So first off, the swing to the ankles isn't the fit that takes them out. Rather, it's a sub to get the person to jump up, so I can then use my other arm to push them down into the mud.
Perfect. So leap up, kind of knock. He jumps away from the staff, and then you bring that strike down, and you knock them down. Let me ask you this: are you more interested in making sure that they're going to stay here and you can talk to them, or are you going to let them go?
My top priority is to protect everyone else around me. So if I have to leave this combatant alone, so I can make sure everyone else gets to safety.
Okay,
that's what I'll have to do.
Perfect. Then you may mark XP as you kind of knock him back into the mud. Depending on what happens with the rest, he may try and get out of here. Lynn, you've heard this shout and you've seen this pair, but you've got these troops by you. What do you want to do?
There's only one priority, and that is the bride. I will have to dance like falling leaves through these troops, as you call them, and get to her as soon as possible.
Perfect. Let's hope you do that well. This is rolled with your style element. You should try and deal with these troops.
Let's have a look. It's an 11.
That is an 11. What does that look like? These farmers have come up on you. They're trying to stop you. Their goal is to hold you in place. But what do you do that just absolutely takes them out?
I'm not so much taking them out as I'm getting away from them.
Okay.
I don't care if they live or die. I have to get to the bride, and therefore I may step one or two. I jump over one more, and I dash over to her side and try to protect her.
You have pulled yourself away, and you've leapt through them, and you are dashing over to where the bride is. Number one scholar, you said you wanted to make sure that she was absolutely safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I think that feels like you are going to roll overcome to make sure that they cannot get their hands on her.
Yeah. And he pulls out his acupuncture needles. He's like, I'm sworn to do no harm, but I will defend myself. So overcome is what
do you want to roll it with?
I feel like this is a medal, because it's about controlling the situation, sort of.
Absolutely.
And I rolled a 10.
I'm not entirely enthused about all these high rolls. Let me just say that, except that I know that it will come around. So absolutely. You see Lynn rushing over to move to protect her, and you. What is it you do? Is it that you force them back, or is it that you get her pushed away to safety? Which
I think I just like take quick jabs at their legs, and they just start moving like jelly, and fall over. And then I'm like, "Come on, we have to run."
Yeah, certainly hits them. They stumble for a second when that happens, and you've got her push back. Winter Storm. You've heard what you has shouted. You see Lynn rushing over. Number one scholar has pushed back the bride. How do you want to handle these two?
Let me ask you, is this something that I can say I'm dealing with a group of foes who are collectively beneath my scale?
Oh no, these pair of foes are collectively above your scale.
Oh boy. Fun. Okay. Well, I mean, like, I'm going to dive in and uh crowd control. So would it be overcome in that case? Because if I'm like just diving in and then like, trying to cut a swath through them.
Yeah, trying to separate them, get them off balance. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be overcome.
Okay.
And do you want to roll this with your style element or something else?
Style element, like,
Oh, yeah.
seems to be
Go
best.
strong. Okay.
Go strong for sure. All right, so okay, hopefully that works. 13.
So what is it you do that breaks this pair of that have trained together? How is it that you get them split and separate from one another?
It's a lot about, again, circular motions. So with the spear, she's already like creating this like kind of hypnotic like circle. So they think that they're watching this the spear, but then like maybe they're a little bit confused by the tufts or the tassels that are from the head. And then she will like swirl around them, tripping them up, moving the spear in between their legs, and then like up through their weapons to kind of disarm them and slap them down, and then like do a full leap where she's turning it and then bashing them like with the other end of the spear.
They're thrown back. They're trying to get control of their weapons again and split in different directions. They look at each other. They and they're you can see that they're getting ready to try and lightness past, but right now they're in a bad position. Let me come to Lynn and then to you. Lynn, you see that number one scholar has pushed back Dawning Joy to safety, and that Winter Storm has kind of split these two dangerous assassins apart. What do you want to do?
I fear for the bride. I fear that she is being led into another ambush right around the next corner, and I don't know if I trust number one scholar enough to let him lead her away. Therefore, I try to hop onto my horse and follow her.
So you want to try and grab her away from number one scholar and ride to the rescue?
Exactly.
That's overcome.
I think it's with speed and passion. Therefore, I try to use fire here. That's another 10.
So, number one scholar, you kind of defending, and you're feeling pretty heroic. You've seen Winter Storm fall up, and then there's the sound of hooves as Lynn leaps on his horse, rides over, grabs up Dawning Joy, throws her on back of his horse, and rides to further safety, kind of ignoring you a little bit here.
Yeah, I don't know if he's feeling heroic, actually. Like, I feel like he might be internally conflicted here, because his duty as a doctor is to treat people who've been injured, and there's a lot of injuries here. But his love is riding off in the distance with, you know, this win, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what he's going to do. So maybe I have to roll that.
Yeah. What do you want to roll inner conflict with? You can roll that with anything except your style element.
I think it's Earth. I think it's like obsessive versus focus here. Okay. And that's a 7.
That is 7. Now you have a choice then. Do you want to kind of remove yourself, kind of flee from the situation? Or do you want to mark the element that you rolled with?
I feel like he has to flee after Dawning Joy.
Okay.
And
So
it's like,
you leave Winter Storm and you
have to
to
keep her
deal with
safe.
this, and you go chasing after her just to make sure. Running after you you kind of turn around. You've dealt with one of these foes. You're the and you can see that the Winter Storm has followed up on what you said and has kind of split them apart. What do you want to do?
So I think that's splitting them apart, even the odds.
Absolutely. Now, for the moment, driven apart by Winter Storm's action, they are individually are on your scale. We'll say one of them is in silver and the other one's in gold, just because we got to have different costumes.
Okay, so in this case, I'll go for whoever one is far away from Winter Storm, because we got to do the honorable thing of 1 by 1.
Okay. Absolutely. So you will leap over to the one dressed in silver. This foe is on your scale. He's trying to recover from what Winter Storm did with the spear and the dizzying and the knocking aside. Let's have you roll.
So roll wood, my style
Yeah.
for duel. Big Monday, 9.
So that is a 9. So you have a choice. You can win at a cost. You can narrate your loss, or you can deadlock, like lock up with them, and you get to ask a question.
How about we deadlock? Because I need more insight into what's going on.
Okay. So how is it, like, is it do they catch your staff with the rings, or do you catch their weapon? Like, how do you two lock up?
So I do imagine that that the silver opponent locks my staff as holding it with two arms on each end, but then the ring clashes against it. So they're parallel against each other, pushing into each other face to
Absolutely.
face.
Absolutely. Now you get to either declare a detail, or you can ask a question.
So I'm going to ask the question.
Sure.
It does it appear that this is all there are of them, or does it feel like that they're preparing for reinforcements, or even acting as a diversion?
It does seem to you like this is the attack. Like they'd hoped. There's just so many of you. They expected perhaps one bodyguard. They knew that Lin was supposed to be with them, and they thought that this would be enough, but they did not expect 4 expert wuxia here, and this has definitely thrown them off. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Yes.
Okay. Winter Storm. You see you engage the figure in silver, kind of lock up. The figure in gold is kind of looking like his eyes tracking where number 1 scholar and Lin have gone. What do you do?
Is he on my scale?
Now he is, because you have split him off from his partner.
Yeah, I want to duel to make sure that he's down for the count. yeah, I don't want him following them. Yeah, let me roll.
Yeah,
And I can do this with my style element.
absolutely.
7.
Still in that winning bracket. Do you want to win at a cost? Do you want to lose? Do you want to deadlock on that 7 to 9?
I mean, that was a good question that you had asked. I'm trying to figure out like if there's a different question. Oh, okay. Let me ask a question. So I'm gonna deadlock.
Sure.
So, yeah, I think in similar fashion to what happened to you, I think that the rings managed to lock up maybe in the tassels and the tufts on my spear, and then like we're kind of like at a cross, and like my face is like right next to his and what have you, and I think I say, what faction sent you?
And he says, the many venoms have been hired, and we will destroy this wedding. So we are just mercenaries, and there are other forces that you must be worried about, Wanderer. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
God damn it.
Lynn, you've got Dawning Joy with you, got to safety. You see that fighting is still continuing over there. You do see that number 1 scholar is following behind. Do you want to continue on like a safe route back to the town?
I think I'll stop for just a moment in order to peek back at the confrontation and get an idea who's winning and what's going to happen next. But after number 1 scholar will catch up with us, we will continue to the town or maybe even to the pleasure bark that's parked in the river.
Mm-hmm. So number 1 scholar, you Lynn stops. What do you do?
Well, I think he was running up and I'm tripping over his hanfu. He's like, wait, she has a weak constitution. Because even with lightness of step, he can't outrun a horse, right? So he was running at full tilt.
That's why she is on my horse.
Thank you so much for getting her out of there. He's just like out of breath.
And she will say, Dr. Lynn will take me into town. I will see you later.
Can I don't know. Yeah, like, do I trust Lynn? Maybe I have. Could I argue that I might have asked some of my informants or history about this person and.
But we assume that that one of the assumptions that that all of you know one another before this.
Yeah, so I don't know if he would. I don't know if he would distrust his motivations.
Right.
He rescued her, right?
Yeah.
So no, that seems like, please take her to safety. I'll go back and check on the others.
And Lynn, you are kind of everyone scholar will give you the word to go, and Donnie Joy will grip you.
Wait, keep on the lookout for Wanderer Bow. I've heard that he's in the area.
Oh no.
A dark man with dark reputation.
And I think you'll see Dawning Joy kind of furrows her brow when she hears you say that.
It could be nothing. Maybe you don't have to worry. But just keep an eye out.
We will come to that a moment. Let's resolve this back with these two fighting. It looks like your foe is at this point seeing that their target is too far away for them to get. It looks like they are getting ready to run. What do you want to do? Do you want to let them go? Do you want to try and take them down before they can? What do you think?
For this one, first, am I close enough to Winter Storm to lock eyes?
I think so. Absolutely. It's dramatically appropriate.
In that case, I'll ask them how you want to do this. As in, take them down and let them go.
Vipers. We cut them down, more will come in their place. But then she'll like look down at the one that she's got. She'll be like, less vipers. And then she'll kind of indicate, take them out. We can.
You?
In fact, this case, I allowed a grin that I shouldn't have, and then go strike at my ring opponent one more time.
All right. Let's have you roll a duel.
2d6 plus 2 for wood, and then 9.
So that is a 9. I'm going to offer a cost to you, if I may. I think that you do strike, and he backs up, and I think it is. You'll hear the sound of a horse, and Son of Stone and Wrath actually comes by and finishes him off before you can. Are you okay with that?
Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of push him back like you're going to make that strike, and then and he drops your foe. A skillful strike with his blade. Yes, it kill steals from you. Winter Storm.
Yeah, duel to take mine out, and God, cross some fingers here.
Absolutely.
10.
10. And as Son of Stone and Wrath cuts down the other foe, you will strike and drop this one. Yeah. I think the ones who were dressed as villagers have run off. The one that you knocked down in the first place has gone, and a Son of Stone and Wrath will say to you two, we should follow behind my sister and make our way back to town. I know that righteous Jade perhaps did you a disservice, but I hope that you will accept my hospitality.
Yes, I will. And
Excellent.
I put on a good face of accepting it graciously, while inside I feel resentful.
Yeah, no, he definitely makes no apology for having done that. And I think we will see the two of you following behind. Let's kind of cut forward to arriving in the town that has been set up with the kind of the tents and the estate buildings that have been built, and then the bridges out to this barge for the wedding. Number one scholar, what's something else about this town? We see it's in autumn. We see those beautiful leaves. There are some populace. Of course, there are tables getting set up. We've got this barge. Tell me something else we see on screen.
I think there's some kind of festival going on in the background, just like a local harvest festival, you know, so someone's got, you know, like a censer and they're honoring the ancestors, and maybe there's like a dance going on. So
Yeah.
there's another event that's going on at the same time.
Yeah. Maybe make you a little bit nervous because there are a lot of people here.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving around. And there is that tension between the Wulin here doing their things from the wealthy factions and the villagers who are dealing with the ceremonies. There's a high priest. We probably have a statue and various offerings being given there. Lin Shu, what's another thing that we're going to see as you ride into town?
What we're seeing is that all the craftsmen who built the barge, who connected the barge to the river, to the riverbed, are leaving. They are packing up their tools, and they are driving away to the next town over to do their thing.
Does it look like they've been treated well? Have they been given gifts by the families, or is there more of a sense of that maybe they've been shortchanged a little, maybe haven't been given the honor they do? Which do you think it is, or something else?
I think they have been paid well, but they haven't been treated well. They are quite fed up. They don't like working for the groom. Nonetheless, they were paid, and they are happy to have enough money for another season.
Yeah, definitely over the last few days and weeks that you have been here serving under Righteous Jade, you've heard a lot of grumblings about the arrogant and perhaps high-handed attitudes of the White Thunder Manor. Certainly, you've gotten a feel that could be an issue. Winterstorm, you as we see you come into town, both of you on foot with Son of Stones and Wrath on horseback. Winterstorm, what's something else that we see here of decorations or colors or preparations or people?
I think that Dawning Joy has pretty much, even though there's a harvest festival going on, I think she has pretty much commandeered as much of the festivities as possible, leading up to her big moment. And I think she's got all of her bridesmaids here, in their particular gowns and robes, gathering decorations to bring to the party barge. And we see also the groomsmen in their particular set of robes and possible ceremonial armor or something like that, also attending them. But I mean, everything's pretty much ceremonial. It's not getting into the festivities like they probably want to.
Okay. So we've got the bridesmaid, the groomsmen. Tell me what we know the bride has to be in red. But what's the color of the bridesmaid, of the sort of colors of the Limitless Sword Society?
I feel like that there would be I don't know if this is within the cultural norms or whatever, but I think it's very dove gray and steel like and iron, so very metallic colors, like indigos, even for some of the darker honed steel or metals that they use, for sure.
Excellent. So we see that. What's the contrasting color for White Thunder Manor? Is it white or is it something else?
So I would so despite the name of white, I think it wouldn't be the most appropriate color for a wedding
Mm-hmm.
in this area. So the bridesmaid's color is red, right?
Is in the bridesmaids are in this the bride is red, bridesmaids are in this gray and metal and iron colors.
So the group, I would say that on the other side we instead have colors of green,
Okay.
specifically the green of leaves, and a contrast, yet a striking contrast to the red.
Absolutely.
Two natures coming
Yeah.
together.
So we see the colors. We've got the colors of White Thunder Manor. We see them in the green. We see the grays and steels. So let's start with Lin Shu. You arrive here. Certainly Dawning Joy will dismount and go over to where her bridesmaids are. What do you do? Who do you go and tell? Who do you go and talk to? Do you go to Righteous Jade? Do you go and track down perhaps the elder of the White Thunder Manor, or do you want to talk with one ruined scholar or someone else? What do you think?
Who's in charge here? Is it really White Thunder Manor, or is maybe the family of the bride organizing the surroundings of the wedding?
Do you want to tell me? Or do you want to roll a study?
Okay, let's roll study.
Okay.
I think I'll study with metal.
Okay.
In order to be calculating and try to infer the control here.
Sure.
That means +1. Yes, +1. Oh dear, only a 6.
So you're pretty certain that it is White Thunder Manor that is in charge. Iron Lion is the elder of White Thunder Manor, and he seems to be the person who has the most control here. I think you will see, though, as you are walking around, kind of looking, maybe trying to find, Righteous Jade to talk to. I think you will see Righteous Jade, and you see him standing closely and chatting with someone, and you see him take his hand and brush his hand along their cheek, and as you kind of move forward, you see that he is standing close by Magistrate's son, and
I freeze in place,
touching her with some affection.
I'm torn between talking to him and reporting the events of what just happened in the
Would you
woods.
say that you are conflicted?
Oh dear, I am.
Yes. Why don't you roll inner conflict?
I roll with, well, it's obviously passion, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I will never confess to it, but I might as well roll with it. That's a 10.
So you keep yourself in control. Do you think the better idea is to leave them be, or do you think the better idea is to go and report in?
I don't know if I can keep my calm if I approach them, and therefore I would better move away silently but straight back to my charge, straight back to the bride, and stay with her for some more time. And
you head back to that group of the bridesmaids and the bride, and all the swirl is going around. Number one scholar, what about you? You've arrived in town.
I was thinking, is it possible that another scholar, like Scholar of Hawks, might be in this town?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we see number one scholar, and he's like playing Go with her, and they're drinking some tea, and he's just having polite conversation. It's like, oh, you've been in this town for a while, and it's good to see you. And another scholar from the Jade Brush School. I wonder if you've seen anyone strange. Perhaps you have seen Wanderer Bow around anywhere.
Say, I know of your beliefs about Wanderer Bow, but he is from a respected school. I don't know how you've come to this. He is present here. He has been here for the last day or so. Why this fascination with him? What is it you suspect?
We scholars have to keep an open mind. Perhaps if I could talk to him or observe him, it would assuage some of my concerns. But with this wedding and my duty to the family, and I just want to make sure, absolutely sure, everything is okay.
They pause and they say, yes, your duty to the family, your continued close treatment of dawning joy.
Yes, that is what I was referring to.
I see.
And the tea spills just a little bit.
Oh, I think I have you, and they'll point down to the go board.
Assuming that's the game that we were playing.
Yes. Let me cut from that moment to Winter Storm. You've come into town. You are a guest of the bride's side of the family, given your relationship with Son of Stone and Wraths. A lot of other people here. You see the festivities. Do you want to talk with one of the NPCs? Do you want to talk with one of the PCs? What scene do you want to call here?
I feel like, well, does Son of Stone and Wrath have anything to do with like the running of the Limitless Sword Society, or anything that has to do with like the factions or anything like that? I mean, is this a study move basically?
Yeah, let's do a study move to
Sure.
see. I mean, because you could certainly declare. Let's have you roll,
Okay.
because you could also fail.
Yes, that's true. Cool. Moves. I'm rolling with just roll.
What do you want to roll with? What?
Oh, that's true. Hold
Yeah.
on. Let me see. What do I want to roll with? Oh. I mean, it makes the most sense to roll with curiosity, but that's a -1 on my count. Fudge.
Do it.
Wisdom? I don't know. Can I parlay that into like, being aware?
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
I'm totally parlaying that then.
Absolutely.
Okay. So with water. That is a 9.
So you've got one hold.
Okay.
Do you want to ask a question, or you want to make a declaration?
I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Hold on. Study move. Just I don't know if Son of Stone and Wrath would know this though. Why would many Venoms want to stop this wedding? There's other hands in this to put a stop to this. Why? What is so significant about this?
I think Son of Stone and Wrath says to you, I have no idea. And you can tell that he's lying. Perhaps it is just that these two families joined together represent a significant force.
She wants to believe him so bad, but
Oh, yeah.
she knows she can't. God dang it. Inner conflict.
I think that's an appropriate role.
Fudge. All right. Inner conflict. I roll with anything but style element. Great. Let's see. I'll definitely not aware in this point. Yeah. Gonna go with Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So +1. 3. Woo! Sorry. So excited for failure.
I think you're going to mark Earth.
Okay.
As you go, no. I misread that. Clearly, he was not lying to me. You pull yourself down, you center yourself, you've known him. Certainly, there was nothing nefarious in the way that he answered that question. You hold that close to your heart. Is everything all right?
Yes, everything's fine. I just just concerned about so close to time of the wedding and this having to happen to your sister. I mean, it's fine.
Well, there'll be a feast tonight. The wedding is tomorrow. I will see you later.
Yes, sure. Absolutely.
He will nod and he will head off.
Oh, and I think if you're still there, it's like I think you see her face fall because, she's.
Yeah, where are you? And we can certainly carry on from that moment, or is there someone else you want to talk to? You certainly could bring Wanderer Bo on scene or something else. What do you think?
So I think sometime between coming to town and meanwhile, while Winter Storm is struggling through this, seeking after, let's say, #1 scholar. I'm looking for #1 scholar because first off, I want to catch him up with what happened with me and Winter Storm, along with what we found out.
Absolutely. I think you'll come on. I think we cut to the previous scene. We probably see #1 scholar still seated there by the go board, looking at the white and black beads, maybe trying to analyze what went wrong and using that as a distraction. And you can come up on upon him.
Hello there.
I should have
I
used
was looking for you.
the strategy of the two rivers. And you, I'm glad to see you're unharmed.
You as well.
If there are any survivors, then I can go back and treat them. Words, the others okay?
Winter Storm and me, we are okay. Everyone that we were entrusted to look after are all right. The assailants, we can't say much, but we did receive some help from from Son of Storm Wrath, really help us out. And I force a smile.
Yeah, I kind of shoot Scholar of Hawks a look when he implies that they didn't leave anyone behind. But I was like, oh, that's good to hear. I'm glad that he was there to protect you as well.
So what's the name of the people who attacked us again?
The Many Venoms sect.
So we were able to get that our assailants were from the main venoms, and that they were not the only ones planning to sabotage the wedding. Do
As
you
soon as
know
you
of them?
Yeah, as soon as you say many venoms, I think his eyes go extremely wide. It's like, can I just establish things, or do I need to make a study roll?
I think this is kind of fits into the background. You already talked about the fact that the bride was poisoned. Do you think it was? Do you think number one scholar thinks it was Many Venoms?
Yeah, I mean, I could suspect that. I was like, the many venoms, they have the deadliest toxins of centipedes from the far desert. They're if they're here in town, the Dawning Joy is in grave danger.
In that case, should we go?
Absolutely, right now. I'm so sorry, my friend. It was so good to play with you, and I'll see you again at the wedding, but we have things to do. And then, yeah, he falls after you.
Scholar Hawk certainly narrows their eyes, given that they know that you is a protege of Master Bo, and Scholar Hawks will say to you, you shall take care, be careful.
And I will be careful. We all do.
Yes,
Yeah.
I proffered the same advice, and I'm glad to hear you listen to my friend.
Scholar Hawks says nothing. Let's take our second break here. Let's take 5, and we will come back and continue on. Okay.
That's good.
So it feels like we've got like the number one scholar, Lynn, and you kind of with the bride, like do that scene, and then check in with Winter Storm. And does that seem fair? Lynn, are you good with that?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So I imagine that the bride has their own set of quarters, tent, gossamer. There are guards there and the bridesmaids. There's various last minute decisions being made about cloth and ceremony and all these things. And I think we will see the 3 of you kind of arrive there all at the same time. And I think we'll see Peerless Jalon. We're going to say that this is Dawning Joy's mother, who is there and is perhaps a little bothered that you 3 have all arrived, but she will let you in, provided you like what's the business, you say, Lynn?
Oh, my business is quite obvious. I'm her bodyguard, and therefore I should be by her side at all times.
So
nonetheless, I try to explain to her that there have been some incidents in the forest.
And she says, you are a bodyguard, but there are proprieties and decorum, especially here on the night of the wedding. You understand that?
Of course I do.
But if you wish to speak with my daughter, you may do that, but then I will expect you to take your position outside here.
I bow and
Number one scholar, I think we kind of assume you come in at the tail end of this. Do you want to try and talk to Lynn before he goes inside? Do you want to follow him in? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I walk until I'm prevented. I walk immediately over to the table where the feast is being set, and I start just like bending over and sniffing at the food. And
Oh, so
like,
you're not going to see Dawning Joy?
well, I think what I say is like, on this special day, we need to make sure that the health of the bride and the guests are taken care of at all times, and no one gets sick from the food. And he doesn't want to cause a panic, right? So he doesn't go directly to Dawning Joy.
Okay.
Like he's checking like all of the food to see like, is any of this poison? Because now I know the mini venoms are around, and he's like very paranoid based on what you said.
Absolutely. So let's and you, what do you do? Do you follow number one scholar as he begins to check out the feast? You expect that he's checking out just the basic things that are set out. This is eventually going to lead to the kitchens, if that's what's going on. What do you want to do, you?
First off, since I'm technically here as a guest, I'm going to look out for my master Wanderer Bow
Okay.
to see if he's a part of these festivities.
Okay. So let's start with Lynn, then we'll do number one scholar, then you, and then come back to a winter storm. So Lynn, do you want to have a word with Dawning Joy?
yes,
Or
please.
okay. So you will go in, and Dawning Joy kind of pause in her preparations, and she will say, Master Lynn, was there something you needed?
I'd like to have a word with you about the circumstances that happened in the forest today, and I think we should at least inform someone else about these incidents.
You are the servant of Righteous Jade. I assume you would inform him.
I lie to her and say that I wasn't able to find him. I thought that she would be able to tell me about his whereabouts.
As he should be in the groomsmen's quarters. Perhaps he is on the barge getting things set. If you have other concerns about security, perhaps Magistrate's son can help you.
I gulp down a bit of anxiety and perchance if you could provide me with the location of your brother, that would be quite helpsome. Helpsome? Don't know, is this a word?
Helpful.
As well. Helpful, yeah, thanks very much.
She'll say, well, he has his own chambers on the eastern side. And she kind of pauses. She's clearly embarrassed by that. My father did not put him up here with us.
I try to ask her without asking her if she isn't at all concerned about what happened today. I don't know if how you would word it in wuxia.
Let us say you're trying to get something out of her. I think this is hearts and minds. I think you're trying to get her to kind of tell you what she's feeling. What do you want to roll that with?
Oh dear. I think it has to be wood, but it's
okay.
My worst attribute. Because I'm curious and I try to be patient, but it's not my -1.
Now, I will say you have a choice. You do have a couple of bonds. If you wanted to, you could spend one of those bonds to get it to a 7.
Yes, I'd like to spend my bond with magistrates soon.
Oh, okay.
Don't trust her anymore. But I love her.
I think that there is some hesitation, and she will say, I have been sick. There have already been attempts upon my life, and it was #1 scholar who saved me from that. And at that time, I had come to terms with the possibility of not surviving this. And now I survive, but I have an obligation. I have a wedding I must carry through on.
I take a deep breath and I confess to her that I think that I am being set up here. I think that me being her bodyguard and the attempts on her life, they try to frame me and my school, that I fail in my duties, and that I can't stand.
Who do you think is framing you?
I will find out.
It would pain me if anything happened to you because of this.
I bow very deeply.
I've said too much. You should go. #1 scholar. You are checking through here, looking for signs of things. Now you definitely you can detect poisons. Like this is your forte. But I do want to do this as like a study for the kind of the broader picture here. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. What do you want to roll that with?
I think it has to be water. It's about awareness. He's calling upon his his studies and his research and everything. So that would be 2d6 + 2. 5. So that's fun. Can I spend both of my bonds, or?
Oh, absolutely. If you want to spend both of those vital resources to take that to a 7, I have no problem with that.
I don't know. That's tough. No, I'm gonna take the fail. It's fine. I bring it.
All right. I think that you will see one of the bridesmaids of Dawning Joy. We'll say this is Crystal Yaling. She clearly, you've seen her before. She's been around the whole time that you've been treating Dawning Joy. And she is perhaps she's clearly has affection for you, but you haven't had eyes for her. But she will see you, and as you are checking, no poison, you kind of get back, and you will see Crystal Yaling will approach you, and she will say, Doctor, may I speak with you?
I'm a little, it's not the best time, and of course, Crystal, what can I do for you?
I worry that you are an honest and forthright and dedicated man, and that perhaps your affections are turned in the wrong direction.
My affections, I don't know what you mean. I'm only here to do the best job as a scholar that I can.
I know. I've seen how you look at Dawning Joy. I've seen how you
Please,
gaze after her.
please, you can't tell her. This wedding is so important. It has to go through, and I don't want to ruin it. Please.
I do not think that you will be the one who will ruin it. You see, Dawning Joy has one that she pines after, that she looks in the same way that you look at her. You have seen Righteous Jade's man, Lin Xiu.
And yeah, I just flash back to Lin grabbing her and riding off on a horse.
Yeah, there is something between them.
He was like picking up, he had been picking up the tea looking for poisons, and it just like drops and shatters.
I'm sorry, I just had to tell you this.
Forgive me. I have to go. You want us to go?
Absolutely. That seems perfect there.
Mm.
You will look around, and you will find more in sort of the town and the festivities side. You will find your master wanderer Bo. He is seated watching the religious ceremonies. Perhaps he has a little bag of sweets that he is giving out to some of the children there. And he will see you. You finally arrived.
And I finally found you, master. Yeah.
How
And-
are you?
It's a long story.
Well, we have time.
Our
We have
journey.
time.
So I start to tell him about how near the tail end of our journey we were ambushed, and that we were attacked by members of the Many Venom sect.
Oh, that's not good. Wait. You traveled with Winter Storm?
Yes. Yes, I did.
I know you bear her some affection, but I would be cautious. You are young and impressionable, and she is a vagabond, not an unorthodox. Matters at the heart are for later in your life, not now.
I understand, master.
Do you?
I do not answer.
So who have you told about this attack?
So I have so number one scholar was in the same party as I was, and I told him about the nature of the assailants. And I trust that he has gone to seek out more help concerning this matter. I want to make sure I locate you because I know I can trust you, Master.
Absolutely, you can always trust me. Number one scholar, he is a reliable man. His order is solid. If he has spoken and told people of this, I think that you have no worries on that score.
And
Seems to me you seem like you need something. What is it that I can help you with?
There's one more person that's I was also traveling with. Lin Zhu. And I keep meaning to tell him to watch out for Master Sun, since I know that they will also be here.
Mhm. You know, it is very difficult to tell someone that someone they care for and respect is perhaps not who they believe them to be. That is a difficult path to undertake.
It is. I feel pulled in 3 different directions right now. What am I to do?
Detach yourself from these things. Enjoy this wedding. Enjoy this chance. Hold no grudge against righteous Jade for his dismissal of you. But keep your eyes open. Perhaps you will see signs that others do not.
So I say, thank you, Master. But inside, there's a conflicted part of me who wants to divide this advice.
Absolutely.
Be closer to Winterstorm than my master.
Why don't we, if you,
advises.
do you want to roll the proud youth for this?
Uh,
Because you do have a move that fits with this kind of going to your
Oh.
master to talk. Shall we roll that move?
yes.
Okay.
So let me just look at that proud youth. So should I go with the nature of this advice, which would be
Let's have you roll first. Let's see what the roll. What do you want to roll that with?
so I would guess that this would be this, since I'm conflicted on which possibility to go for. I would say that it's about control and therefore metal.
Let's have you
Does
roll.
that sound
Yeah,
reasonable?
perfect.
So 2d6 flat, and then 8.
So that is an 8. So you have a choice. He's told you what you ought to do, that you ought to just relax, keep your eyes open, not get involved, not tell Lynn. If you decide to do that, you can take +1 ongoing for dealing with the problem. Or if you defy him, if you need to tell, then you can mark XP.
I'm going to divide
Okay.
and confide.
Yeah.
And confide in one of my travel partners what I'm not supposed to say.
Absolutely. We will come back to you on that. Winter Storm. What are you doing in the time between sort of this afternoon and the party this evening?
First, can I ask mechanically out of character? It's
Absolutely.
like, does this game work where you mark XP on a miss? Like,
Yeah, we've been doing mark XP on a miss and
okay.
mark XP when you roll inner conflict.
Okay. All right. So, and I got 3 on the inner conflict. So does that count for 2 XP?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my god! I just had to check on that because I was like, "Oh my god, that's so funny."
Absolutely.
That's hilarious. Okay. So, um, hmm. Disappointment. Oh man. Who do I talk to? That's the question.
One of the PCs? Is there an
Yeah.
NPC you want to introduce? What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like I want to talk to somebody. Um,
I could, like, if you want to talk to me, I have an idea.
okay, yeah, that's fine. Like, maybe I'm wandering around and then like, obviously seeing like maybe the bride like making her preparations, but then
Mhm.
everybody else is on attendance like once she heads back to the
Mhm.
big tent. But then like, maybe
Yeah.
Winter Storm is wandering around and looking at some of the festivities for the Harvest Festival and such.
And number one scholar is like mumbling to himself and looking at the ground, and his cheeks are a little red, and it's hard to tell if he's just angry or like has been drinking a little wine. And he's like, you do your best and you keep your feelings to yourself in order to, help the family. And then someone else doesn't even respect that. And he like nearly runs into you in the street.
Oh,
Oh, I am so
uh,
sorry. A thousand apologies.
oh, it's fine. It's
Mhm.
fine. I mean, I could have just as easily sidestepped you, but you look like you're about ready to barrel into everyone else here. I, what's wrong?
It's just, I'm so, it doesn't even, you did your best and your duty protecting us back there, and I'm so grateful for you. But some people don't seem to care about duty. Some people only care about their own desires.
Uh, yes, that's quite true.
Mhm.
Would you be talking about our bride? Um,
No, she's a perfect blossom, cherry blossom. I'm talking about Lynn. What do you mean, our bride?
uh, it's her day. I mean, sometimes brides get a little um,
Yeah,
possessive
exactly.
and
Yeah, it is
just
her day. We have to stay focused on that.
okay,
Mm.
okay. But then what's wrong with Lynn?
I don't even. It's nothing. He wouldn't try to break up the wedding for. It doesn't make any sense.
Wait, why would Lynn? Do
Be-
you
because it's too horrible to say.
wait? Is Lynn working for the Many Venoms?
Could he be? I didn't consider that. I
I
don't
mean,
know. Clearly, we must go confront him, or at least I must.
are you even at this point capable? I mean, maybe we hear like some of that weird humorous music going on because like she's looking at you and
Yeah,
you're like red in the face and you don't look
maybe
like you'd be able to
wobbling a
deal with
little bit. Yeah,
anybody, right? Like,
yeah.
are you ill? I mean, did you have too much to drink?
I have perfect control of my body and my style. I the chi. I know all of the meridians, and maybe I do need to sit
She's
down a
gonna.
little.
I was gonna say because like she's gonna kind of poke you with just a finger and then see
Yeah, he
exactly
falls
how
back a little
balanced you
bit.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly how balanced you are. It's
yeah.
like I think you should sit down for a little bit. I
Perhaps I should take the same advice that I would give a patient, as I will have a seat. And you're a good friend. Thank you, Wonderstorm.
You're welcome. I mean, I can't confront anyone anyway without actually having facts. I mean, I shouldn't care, but I mean, it is
No, facts, data. It's the most important thing in life. Go find those facts. Search for truth.
breathe. Sit here and breathe. And she will give you a look of like, worry before she turns away and then like, goes to search for you maybe because at this point it's like you're not making any sense.
Right.
All right, let's let me come back to Lynn, and then let me kind of maybe bring Winterstorm and you together here. Lynn, it has been a complex afternoon for you. Who do you go talk to? Who do you go confront?
That's a good question. I'm torn. I think I would get outside help. Outside help in this instant, meaning someone in the vicinity of Winterstorm or number one scholar or Yu Xiao. They are both new to this festivities. They arrived just today, and therefore I need to speak to any one of them. I think I'll wander around aimlessly in the village, in the city, and try to see any one of them.
Who do you want to cross paths with? They are all in motion.
Let's do
moment.
number one scholar.
Okay.
Sorry.
Winterstorm goes to find you. Number one scholar, you're sitting there red in the face, kind of trying to get yourself balanced. Lynn, you'll see number one scholar seated there, concentrating hard, must be thinking about something very important. And you will go over and approach, and number one scholar, I think you turn your head and you look up at the figure who has just come up before you, and you will see Lynn.
I can't tell if I'm madder at him that he's not watching Dawning Joy, or that his watching Dawning Joy might be, misplaced. But I'm just glaring at you for some reason. Like,
Lynn?
You are having a drink? May I sit next to you?
I don't control who sits where in this town. I am not a magistrate. Sit if you like.
That's enough of a positive for me. And I grab a flask of wine or sake and have a seat right next to you in order to be very near to you so that we can speak privately. Do you know what happened today? Do you know who attacked the bride?
I have been told that it is the Mini Venom sect, which I am well acquainted with, but apparently not well enough for who knows who could be working for them.
That's unfortunate. I think we have to find out in order to save this wedding, don't we?
Yes, we are both concerned with Dawning Joy's welfare, I am sure. Very
Of
concerned.
course. I am her bodyguard, you are her physician.
Yeah.
That's what duty demands of us, doesn't it?
And yet you are here with me.
And yet she's inside her own chambers, and I was told not to dote on her too much. By whom? By her mother. Interesting.
That is fairly interesting, yes.
Who would gain something from disrupting this joyous occasion? We are talking very quietly. No one is being able to hear us.
I don't know, is there a role here, or?
I am good with one of you making a study roll if you have a question you want to ask or a declaration you want to make.
I think you know the venomous sect quite a bit better than I do. Therefore, it would be okay for me if you would roll.
I think as angry as he is with you right now, he does feel like, this is an intellectual problem.
Sure.
you know, so he's like, all right, I'm gonna internalize my anger and focus on, you know, solving that, right?
Sure. Roll study. You always get an additional hold.
So I think I'm going to try to keep it together with metal.
Okay.
A 7.
That's a 7. So with your bonus, you have 2 hold. What is it you want to ask, or what is it you want to declare?
I want to ask about any hidden threats in the area that we have overlooked. And I want to declare that as he's
Well,
thinking about,
let's start with
Okay.
one half
Sure,
of the
go ahead.
other. So you want to know what else could be a hidden threat. Well, one of the things that worries you is certainly many venoms while they are poisoners, they are not going to poison the food now. It has to be poisoned when it's being presented, has to be poisoned when it's being served, has to be a targeted thing during the festivities. And given that, and Donnie Joy's frail health, it would seem that's a more likely time for something like that to happen. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Yeah.
Okay, and you have a second hold.
Oh, this is not helpful at all, but I have to know, when are you in love with Donnie Joy?
Lynn, do you want to answer that? Like what is the reading? And this is not necessarily like he's asking you,
Yeah,
but
I'm not
what is
asking it verbally.
what is the
like,
reading that
yeah.
that scholar is getting off about your feelings towards Dawning Joy?
While we're talking about Dawning Joy, I think you notice that he doesn't have any feelings for her personally. It's just a task. And he is nonetheless quite anxious about being framed for something which he can't control.
And yeah, I think I pick up on that vibe that you're not talking about her with bated breath or anything. You're like, you know, how can we best protect her? And he starts to soften a little bit. He's like, well, knowing the many venoms as I do, you know, if they were going to target the bride, they would do it during the ceremony, you know,
Or during the feast.
During
tonight.
the feast, sorry. Yeah. They wouldn't make their move yet. So if we're going to protect her, then that's where we should be on our most guard.
You knowing the many venoms that well, would you think they would kill indiscriminately, or would they work to the effect of singling her out and only trying to kill her?
It depends on how much they've been paid and which assassins that they've hired, but they could easily do both. I can't really say. You're a good man, Lynn. A loyal servant of this family, and I'm sorry that you're a good man.
Thank you, Doctor.
I'm going to cut from you two. Winter Storm, you are looking for you and maybe head a little bit towards town. And I think you will see you speaking with his mentor, with his Sifu. And then you nods to Wanderer Bow and kind of starts heading off with a determined look upon his face. And you can easily intercept him if you want.
Yeah, I think Winter Storm will move to kind of like meet you, kind of like walk alongside you as you're walking you, and what has gotten you so riled up? You look like you have purpose.
Oh, hey. So I'm surprised. Uh, I didn't expect, to be honest, I was looking for you.
Oh, I was looking for you too.
So at first, I'm a little lost for words, but then I must have sent them saying, first off, I just realized my apologies, but I haven't properly thanked you for helping me back there, back with those assassins.
I mean, we had a common goal. We had to take them out. If we hadn't, they would have gone after Dawning Joy and done who knows what. So, I mean, we were helping each other.
Yes, we were. And I'm grateful we were able to help each other.
Yes.
And I was just thinking that this may, uh, who knows whether we will see each other again or when we will see each other again. So how about uh, this may not be the best timing on both our parts, but is there any way that we can uh, just enjoy the festivities together just for a little moment before we figure out what to do with all the rest of this?
You mean just be two people that are here enjoying a grand occasion without worrying about whether the bride is going to be killed by shadows and demons in every corner?
Yes, I know how bad it sounds for me to suggest this when all of it may go down. As at the same time, there must be a way that we can do both.
Hmm. Well, it has been a long time since I've enjoyed any festivities. I mean, Dawning Joy has her bodyguard, so it's not like she's unprotected. Um, I mean,
And
maybe there's a chance, like, and then she turns to like look at you as you're walking. Maybe there is a chance to, I guess, just enjoy ourselves. Although it's been so long, I don't even know if I know how.
and really, it's been a long time for me too, wandering around with my master, and perhaps we can relearn that together.
I'd like that, but just for a few moments. I mean, I guess time passes really quickly, so let's enjoy something while we're here. So maybe we do something completely goofy, like if they actually have like, weird games, like weird fair games here or
Mhm.
something like that. We like, we decide to go to those stalls and like, play some of those games together.
I,
Um
I I like that as a montage that we
mhm,
see there.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think we can kind of say that you two have a choice. You can either clear an element or you can gain a bond with the other person.
I wanted you both because I
You
got
just
clear.
We're gonna give you one right now
All right,
for free.
let me clear Earth. Uh yeah,
Yeah,
I think use has like calmed me down enough that, like, coming down off of like battle high and like, high tension of like suspense, that I think, yeah, I think she's coming back to center for Earth.
I'm going. We see that montage, and I think I'm going to kind of hard frame us forward a little bit here. I think that we see the feast go on. I think we see the tension and paranoia with Lynn and number one scholar, but we don't see anything happening during that. There's some tension of watching every piece of wine, sniffing, checking everything, all of that. And I like to imagine that sort of towards the end of this, as the feast is wrapping up, as some people are leaving and things, that it's finally a chance where we get the four of you together, kind of maybe privately, having a chance to talk to one another here.
I don't understand. It makes no sense. I'm glad nothing happened, but that would have been the perfect time to do it. When are they going to come?
They said that assassin had said it was not only the many Venom sect, but many hands that want to see this wedding fail. This ceremony fail. But why? That's always the big question. Why? Who stands to gain from this? And here's this is like a question that Winterstorm would have just at the world at large. It's like, do they want to get married? I don't care either way. I mean, it's between them, but I mean, I'm just wondering whether the two of them actually want to be married, or if this is just two families that have to do it out of convenience for power.
Number one scholar.
I think you've been with her the longest. What do you think?
I have heard that she loves another than her intended.
Is that so?
But
maybe we should investigate this person.
I have ruled out that person as a suspect. But I have limited information about the groom. Have you learned anything about him?
Yes. I think one might call it torn. I've seen him. With another woman.
Oh.
Not with another woman, but
I'm just going to continue my dropping my tea running joke. How dare? You must be wrong. You must be mistaken. He couldn't do that, could he? But no, Lynn, you're an honest man and you speak the truth. How dare he?
I saw him caressing the face of another woman just this afternoon.
But if they want to destroy the wedding, whomever wants to destroy the wedding, wouldn't it just make sense to let the two of them acknowledge whomever they truly want to be with then? Instead of this whole, like, let's kill the bride? I mean, I don't understand. Like, what is the point?
Maybe the point is that they are married right now. They are husband and wife now. Who gains if the marriage is broken up at this point? But then why the attack on her before the marriage?
Well, the ceremony happens tomorrow, so this is just the
yeah. Okay. I was going to say you made me confused. I was like, wait a second, wait a minute.
Yes, I am.
That's okay.
You, my friend, you've been very quiet. Have you any insight? thoughts that you would like to share? Things that you've seen?
Fortunately, I may be the one of us who has at most a loss of information and insight into what's going on. I do
Yes.
know one person who may be of help, although I'm hesitant to ask unless we must. My master, Wonder Bow, he is well acquainted with it, with the families in play, but he has some strong opinions, and he may have warned me to not be too well acquainted with people around here.
You don't say. And my eyes are just like narrowing as narrow as they possibly can.
Does this seem like maybe you're going to take your companions to go and track down Master Bo right now to get his insight and see what I assume Winter Storm and number one scholar would be interested to see what Bo is up to.
Yes, I'd be very curious to hear what he has to say.
I mean,
I'd
she
like to
has
hear
her
too, but I'm
suspicions.
torn.
No.
She has her suspicions, but I mean, she can't say anything because I mean, like, you know, like
Yeah.
just after this wonderful friendly
Yeah.
friendly montage, can't do it.
let's cut to the four of you going. You ask around, and somebody said, "Well, I saw Master Bo. He was, over there, near the boat there." And I think certainly that raises your hackles, number one scholar, Winter Storm, and because of course that's kind of closed off for tomorrow. But you will come along, and you will see Master Bo. He's kind of seated there in the darkness on the docks. He's not up on the boat, but you can kind of cast a glint of him in the lamplight.
So I take this moment to approach my master, and as I do so, I prepare to bow in submission and say to him,
I think that's when you step in the blood that is pouring out of the wound in his chest. That is all over the docks there.
Just like Ancient Detective. Oh my god.
Is he? Well, is he obviously dead or is he dying?
Well, you've got to move for that.
Oh,
Oh. Oh god dang it.
So
do you want to save Master Bo, Wanderer Bo?
I think I need to roll inner conflict.
Oh yeah, let's start with that.
Because I'm like, do I want to do that? Let's see, what would that be? It's control again. It's definitely control.
Have you roll?
An 8.
Okay. You want to mark control to keep yourself together and do this?
Yeah, as much as I feel like this guy is a villain and a monster, I don't have any proof of that, is the thing.
Right.
And if I don't have proof, then it would be a violation of my ethics to not try and save him.
Then let's see if you can save him.
So yeah, I rush over and I'm taking out my tools and I'm examining the wounds and doing everything I can. And I will roll plus water to keep him.
Roll using your style element. I'm loving that.
Yeah. I got a 7.
Got a 7. So I think you will grab onto them, and he will grab onto your arm as you kind of bring him around, and he will say, "No, not me. You and the others. They've taken Donny Joy onto the boat. They plan to. They have. You must stop them. before they can carry out their plans, you must save them.
I have to save you first.
And he says,
It's my duty.
And he says, no. And you see him close his eyes and concentrate. And you feel his heart stop.
Willingly die.
Shit.
See him
I
kill
fall to my
himself.
knees.
And while you see your master,
Mhm.
just so you will go and save the bride.
I mean, if he wants to do that, that's great. Like, I shed a single tear at this master of control of the flow of chi in his body that I have never been able. I mean, I'm good, but this is just mastery, and it's like, I will remember you, friend.
You saved him, but he still made a choice.
Mhm.
So Winter Storm, what's your reaction, Lin Zhu?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think well, at least I react to what he says. You know, like I think we're giving enough room for number one scholar to work, but I mean, as Wanderer Bo lets go, literally, like, you know, just like he says, I'm done. I mean, you know, we're yeah, Winter Storm is like racing up the, you know, to the boat. And I mean, like,
Yeah, I think you can run down the docks, and
Yeah.
you can lightness over. They've pulled the gangway connecting
okay.
up, but
Yeah.
you are all skilled,
Hmm.
fine, can leap.
Yeah.
Lynn, you're just right beside, I assume,
The graceful levitation above water.
yeah, across it. Uh, you you see your master pass, and you see Lynn and Winterstorm rushing to the boat. What do you do?
I was wrong about your master. He was a hero. We cannot let his sacrifice be in vain.
I look at you silently,
Mhm.
and then I look to my master, and I finish what I was going to say.
Mhm.
I am sorry. I have defied you. And then I stand and follow.
Rush in those words. And number one scholar, I assume you are behind.
Yes, I glide over after him.
And the four of you will land on the decks. You will look around, and you can see there is, in the center of the decking, there is kind of a beautiful glass sort of covering, like a skylight. It's hard to see through. It's not perfect glass, but you can see that there's light coming out from it, lanterns down below, and it's clear that there's something going on in the grand chamber down below in the boat. And tell me, Winterstorm, Lynn, do you toss that aside? Do you shatter your way through? What do we see? Or are you being more stealthy about this?
I don't think I know of another way in, and therefore there only is that way, and feet first.
So, Winterstorm, you will see Lynn leap, shatter through the skylight, slow motion, glass, drop down, 90s movie style, out of the ceiling into this grand chamber. Winter, I assume you follow.
Yes. Yes.
Down there are some lanterns there, and you will see that on this sort of ceremonial dais where the wedding is to be, you'll see Dawning Joy is laid out, and you will see that Righteous Jade is there, as is Peerless Salon, the mother of the bride. But you will see there's a woman there who's not dressed like Dawning Joy, but she has Dawning Joy's face. But for you, Winterstorm, the hardest part is seeing Son of Stone and Wrath there. What do you do, Winterstorm?
Oh, she doesn't ask. She just comes whirling in with her spear, like with whomever the hell is in front of her, you know? Groom, mother of the bride, all that crap. She don't
I
care.
think Son of Stone's Wrath knows your form. He's fought you many times. And I think he's up and he knows how your spirit's going to go, and he will knock it back and he will engage with you. Lynn, what do you do?
I must protect the bride.
So you are
Which
leaping
one?
over to attempt to get her away from off the dais. Okay. So we got that pair up. We've got you ready to do that. Number one scholar, I assume that the two of you drop down in here.
Yes, and I'm like, we're here to rescue you. He's like just very confused about these Dawning Joys. So
what do you do? Like you see this, you see Lynn's leaping over to pull Dawning Joy off of the dais. Winterstorm has been engaged with Stone and Stone's Wrath, but we've got this woman that you'll recognize is in the clothes of Crystal Yaling, but she has the face of Dawning Joy. And of course, the mother of the bride and Righteous Jade. What do you do, number one scholar?
I don't think there's time to stand around and figure out what's going on. So I don't know what's going on, but I do see, the other woman on stage who might be Crystal Yaling, and I assume maybe she's in danger. So I just rush over and I was like, come on, please come with me.
All right, we'll come to that in a second. And
Yeah.
What do you do when you see this chaos, this madhouse?
First off, I'm as confused as all of y'all. But at the same time, what I'm most certain about is there's Son of Stone and Wrath. Right?
Son of Stone and Wrath is engaged with Winterstorm. There's Righteous Jade, the groom, and Peerless Salon, technically stepmother to Dawning Joy.
Oh,
So,
that's important.
so I will. So as much as I want to engage the man who stole my kill, we got to engage the other possible culprit. So I go up to Righteous Jade with my staff.
All right, you charge at Righteous Jade. All right, I think the most important crux here is to see whether getting Dawning Joy out of harm's way is possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to come around to these other moments here. So Lynn, this feels like overcome to do this, to get her out of there before anyone can stop you.
Speed and passion.
Okay.
I roll with fire, my best attribute.
Oh yeah. What does that look like? Like how? What do we see happen there?
It's I'm coming down through the skylight. While falling down, I'm drawing my sword and scanning the situation. I'm just bouncing off the floor, and then I'll use the special techniques of the falling leaves by letting all my wrapped up gowns flow out from me and raise myself to the dais and grab the bride to be and climb up the rope with her around my shoulders and get her
It's-
out of.
It's in one motion, the sweeping down, the coming forward, grabbing her, and then up. And I do think as you're flying upwards, you see her eyes open and she grabs onto you,
Mm.
seeing her rescuer, seeing her hero there.
#1 scholar. You're breaking my heart, man. Oh,
At
God.
least she's safe.
Oh God.
Well, #1 scholar, you grabbed onto this woman, like you see Lynn grab and takes the moment away, and you see this figure, you grab onto her.
Yeah, I allow myself like one momentary sigh, and it's like, I'm not sure who you are, but I can't leave you in danger. Please follow me. We have to get out of here.
Absolutely, absolutely. You grab onto her and start pulling her along. Why don't you mark an element?
Sure. Because she stabs me.
Exactly.
Oh God.
I'm going to stab wood, overconfident.
Okay. Yeah. Pulling her away, and she clutches onto you, and then you'll feel that blade go between your ribs there.
Which, as a doctor, I know is not good for
Yeah.
you.
Oh.
And she says, "You spurned me."
Fuck.
Yeah, I knew it. Alex knew who it was.
Yes.
But, yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, we get that scene of you kind of stepping away, the blood in your hand. We'll come back to you.
Yelling out. Why?
She told you.
Winter Storm.
Yes.
Son of Stone and Wrath is engaged with you, and he says, "Just leave. Leave. You didn't see this. Nothing happened here. Go. And then listen. I will be the leader of the Limitless Sword Society, and you will be with me."
Inner conflict.
Yes.
Not like this. She just screams in his face, like, not like this. Not like this. And so yeah. God dang it. Oh, Mark XP. Hold on.
Okay.
Not that it matters. All right. Style element. I have no idea. Oh my God. Passion. Fire. Give me a second. Oh my God. He's so good. 4. Yay. Oh my God. All right. Holy crap.
And
yeah.
I think it is that there is that moment of hesitation, like you're like, well, him, and then he runs you through.
Yep.
Just absolutely runs you through.
Yep.
Mark the element you rolled with, and mark another element.
Okay.
And
are we gonna have a TPK?
Yeah, that's great. It's great.
We'll come back to you in just a second. And he's like, I'm so sorry, but you can tell he doesn't mean it.
Right.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then like the camera pans to my eyes, which are like so limpid and so soft. Let's like, oh. Yep.
Perfect. You rush over to engage Righteous Jade, and he says, your master was suspicious that I dealt with him. Now I'll deal with you, because certainly if I can defeat him, you will be no challenge. You wish to engage him? What do you want to do?
So I look him in the eyes and say nothing, but I swing the staff at him enrage.
Absolutely. So you have Hopeful Apprentice.
Mhm.
Tell me how it is you keep this clearly superior foe busy here as you come in at him.
So after the first swing of my staff, I turn it into a spin that turns it into a wheel that it will with such force that it knocks back any attempt, even as it fails to knock back my opponent,
Yeah,
locking us in the stalemate of windmills.
absolutely. He's spinning around. He's got this solid iron blade and he's smashing against it. And when he hits against your staff, you feel arms shake. What element do you want to mark?
So I'm going to mark it. I'm going to mark Earth.
Okay. Yeah, kind of locked up with him, tied up, like you need the others to help you, or you're not going to be able to deal with him. But you've got him busy, and he's not going to be able to do anything to stop this. As you are bringing all of your training to bear on him. And there is a moment where at first he thought this was going to be easy, and then you see his eyes narrow and he gets serious. Lynn, you've gotten Dawning Joy up to safety. You look down, you see another Dawning Joy standing over number one scholar. He's bleeding out. You see that Winter Storm has been run through by Son of Stone and Wrath, but you also see that Yu is engaged in a desperate battle with Righteous Jade. And you know Righteous Jade is a dangerous opponent. You've seen him fight. He is very good. What do you do?
Righteous Jade is the traitor. He was meant to be wed to the beautiful lady which I've just saved, and therefore he has to go down first. I jump down and drawing my blades, I engage him with the assistance of Yu Zhao.
How do you want to lower his scale? What do you want to do to get him down between the two of you so that he is on your scale? What do you think you're doing?
I just heard about the windmills which are being spun up, and I think I will use this to my advantage in pushing him all the more in this direction by pushing him into the windmills. And between Yu Zhao and myself, I think we will take him down.
Okay, let's have you roll overcome to reduce his scale.
With control, with metal.
Let's have you roll.
+1.
Oh yeah. Smack into it. There is that thing, like
My boys.
he's spinning to try and come in. He's so focused in on you, and then you hit and it hits, and there's probably a vibration. The wave of it probably shatters things around. Lamps go out, crystal cracks, and then he's standing there. You have one shot at this. Lynn has set him up. Let's have you roll.
No.
No pressure.
2d6 plus 2. And 7.
Just barely. What does he break on you? Like, what's the cost you pay? Is it an arm? Is it a hand? Is he hit your eye? What is the strike before you bring him down?
He destroys the weapon that my master
Oh,
had given me.
shatters it even as you bring that strike into him, and he staggers back with the combined force of your strike and Lynn's. And we see him hit against the wall, where he hits it, and then to the cough of blood that signals that, and he slides down. Number one scholar, what are you doing?
So I have a question that might make it harder for myself, but it might make it more dramatic.
Absolutely.
Was Crystal Yoing's dagger perhaps poisoned?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm looking down on it and the wound is already getting toxic. And I'm like, you were one of the many venoms. And I'm about to expire. And then I close my eyes and I think about Wanderer Bo's masterful control of the flow of chi in his body. And I try and breathe and channel it in the same way and expel the poison.
Oh, yeah. I think you have 5 deadly venoms. So I think that you are just able to do that to the point where I think you expel it, and I think you hear her gasp. You should be dead.
I'm a doctor. And I stand up and I should deal with you, but I have a more important patient to deal with. So go and never come back. And I turn and I head towards Winter Storm.
Okay. So you're rushing over to Winter Storm to try and do a comfort and support.
Mm-hmm.
Get her roused before he can deliver a final blow. Let's have you roll comfort and support.
I have to go all out with this. I'm going to roll with water.
Sounds good.
2d6 plus 2. No! It's a 5.
That is a 5. How many bonds do you have?
I'm going to spend all of them. It's too
Okay.
important.
So, Winter Storm, just as you'll feel that grip of number one scholar, that strike of the chi on your meridians. You'll feel you're self-inflamed. You may clear one of your elements. And then what do?
Shit. All right, so I'm roused from this, the darkness and whatever else I'm sinking into. And yeah, I think, come on. All right, so I am clearing fire because I think being roused from this, my eyes flash open and then I am feeling light of some sort. Just fire's burning in me right now to take out the man who lied deliberately and was only out for power. And what the hell did I think I loved? That's she's furious, so now she's burning up with it. Can I roll?
Roll with water.
Okay.
You're on a boat. Water's right beneath you.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know how to parlay that. Like, oops, why am I marking it? So what am I? Overcome, duel. What am I?
Duel.
What am I?
This is you have been brought back from the edge, and now you can return the favor to him.
Yep, that's right. I think as she's coming out of this, her eyes fly open. One hand slaps onto the spear that's near her, but then also her other hand comes up from her side and then whips out the fan, and then we'll see what happens. We'll see if this works. Please God. And 7. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Just barely.
So I think that that there it is a gruesome strike that you make. I think that it is not pretty. It is not elegant. I think it is the force of your anger and the roiling of that, and he goes staggering back, cut by the fan across the face in that kind of like strategic cut with like a line there, and your spear still in him, and he will stagger back, and he falls to the ground, and I would definitely see Peerless Elan go running over and crying out for her son there as he breathes his last.
I think maybe I check on him for a second, but then I give you one of those.
Let us go to epilogues. In the immediate aftermath or down the road, what do we see? Number one scholar. What do we see of you after all of this is gone? You turned around and Yiling was gone. She ran as you told her to. But what do we see for your epilogue?
I think that he is limping along and he is headed back towards the Jade Brush School. And he is maybe supported by what's her name, Scholar of Hawks. And he's like, at least this was a learning experience. You have to keep your heart guarded. You have to not judge people by their first impressions. And you have to, I don't even know. I guess we'll find out.
Scholar Hawks just nods in a way that maybe says a little bit of "I told you so," but maybe more a little bit of sympathy there as we see the Jade Brush School in the distance. Lynn, what is your epilogue?
After completing this task, Lin returns to his school, much calmer inside. He is going to inherit the school one day, and he's not afraid anymore.
Nice. So you come in, leaves blowing in the background from the autumn as you enter in. Winter Storm. What is your epilogue?
Think after being treated by number one scholar as best as he is able to get her back on the road, because that's obviously where she needs to be. She tried to help, did her best, and I guess she succeeded, although it wasn't with the person that she was hoping for, and that has to be fine. And she will start to wander out of town and, pulls her hood up over her head, puts the spear in its holster as well as the fan at her side, and heads out of town, just thinking on even if one person can't care, then maybe, just finding solace in those that she meets along the way that will.
That like rise up drone shot of you walking between the trees, the autumn leaves falling behind you.
Yeah.
You, what is your epilogue?
We see Yo in the vicinity of the Willow Branch authorities monastery, And you also see him kneeling on the ground with an urn in his hands. He's opening it and letting the wind take the ashes into the forest nearby. And then after the ashes have dissipated, he stands, he walks back to the monastery, and you see him inside at a desk where he's writing the beginnings of a letter.
Excellent. That's our movie today. That's our episode here.
Woo!
Full on heartbreak.
Damn.
Let's just do a quick round of stars. Anything you want to call about player stuff you really liked, moments you enjoyed? Just a quick round of that. Alex, can I start with you?
Yeah, stars for, I mean, there's too many, but I definitely the very end with the tag team with you and Lynn, you know, and the spinning staff and how it shattered into a million pieces. That was just amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a great. I always love the coordinated setup and dealing with things.
Yeah, and oh, sorry, another
go on.
one. Mads, thank you for running with my little comedy scene too, because
Oh,
I really
absolutely.
wanted to have a scene with your character, so I'm glad we were able to have that.
Absolutely.
Olav, anything you want to add?
Yeah, thanks very much for number one scholar for the excellent scene where we discussed the person who may be responsible, and me not knowing it was me we were talking all about.
Yeah.
That was great.
So good.
You have to lean into that obliqueness, right? You know.
Mads?
Oh my gosh, so many stars, but you know, definitely to you for, you know, doing that whole, like, you know, let's enjoy being together without worrying about
Yeah,
fighting or any of that. I mean, it was just like so gentle and so sweet. And it was just like, it was like a nice of course it was like a nice ironic thing to happen before we get into the whole battle, and she almost died. It was great.
Yeah.
All right, wonderful. So wonderful. And then of course the you know, the whole conflict that was being brought upon, like, you know, with Lynn seeing magistrate son with righteous Jade, and then number one scholar thinking Lynn was okay. Star for all the entanglements and everybody just piling on. It was beautiful.
Yeah, we really played up the hearts of
Oh my God.
of Lynn.
Holy crap a doodle doo. That was amazing. And then just the whole disappointment of like, well, no. It wasn't disappointment. It was more like I knew it was going to be coming. I knew there was going to be an ancient detective moment where Lowell was going to kill somebody. You know, like we find them, like we're about ready to find out, like, you know, some kind of answer, and of course that person was going to get killed, just like Ancient Detective. Can I tell you? We did a watch party. We just finished the series a few weeks ago.
So good.
And the chat in Discord is hilarious because the reactions of no or fuck, you know, it's just hilarious. I was thinking the whole thing, like engaged and watching everybody else like role play and just thinking, this is Ancient Detective. This is happening. Oh my God, what's going on?
That was an amazing twist. Yeah, my mind was blown.
That was awesome.
I loved it.
Totally blown. Absolutely.
And Chi.
Hey, so first of all, stars to Mads, of course, for our little moment between Winter Storm and you. Especially since I was also working through a conflict of should our characters be doing this in the midst of all this tragedy, but at the same time, I think it worked out in the end. especially with that big twist where I'm like thinking out of character. He's definitely a villain, and there's going to be a confrontation, but then for this twist to be sprung on me was everyone played into it fantastically.
Mhm.
Thank you for letting that propel us to the climax where we were able to play off all these relationships clashing at once. And yeah, thank you very much.
I want to thank everybody. Great entanglement building. Like, it really was solid stuff. You layered things, you connected them up with a nice tight ring we were able to play with, and we still had interesting NPCs. I loved everybody's, especially scenes with one another. I thought those were really solid, like a lot of good RP moments between characters. So this was just a joy to run. I really enjoyed it. Thanks everyone, especially Olaf, for who it is super late for
No,
for
it's
playing.
super early.
Super early. I am going to stop the recording.